Hey there, world travelers and adventure seekers. Welcome to another episode of But Did You Die with the Jet Sisters?
That's right. We are your favorite globe-trotting duo. I'm Rachel, and this is my big sister, Angie. And we are here to share travel news, tips, and of course, disasters from our adventures.
So, buckle up, folks, because we're about to take you on a journey where every mishap is a story, and every story ends with the question, But did you die?
And eventually we will.
Die?
Yes.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah.
from a trip, maybe from, old age.
What's the matter with you? You sound like the matriarchs of doom, Rach. Oh
It's
my gosh.
October almost. I'm feeling the
It's
Halloween.
definitely not October at all.
It's fall in Orlando. So to me,
Sure.
it's Halloween.
If you say so. Well, let's get into it. What did you do this weekend? I know what you did this weekend.
I was at your house celebrating my 31st birthday and your husband's birthday. That was fun. Family came over. We did a big family dinner. We did presents. Unfortunately, our pool party got rained out because it's been
I
raining
tell
every
you,
single day.
it has rained every day for probably 2 weeks, and not just a little rain. It is flooded around here. It really is. It's super gross. I'm over it. Like, make it stop.
Don't like it. But I think the funniest part of that whole week was our brother's dog, Vader, literally walks into your house after you've cleaned the whole place and just starts pooping on the carpet, and you're screaming at him.
I
And so
wasn't
he just
screaming. I was like, Vader, no, like, let's go outside, buddy. No.
well, dogs don't speak English, so wah, wah. And so he takes a couple steps and then he poops again, and then he takes a couple more steps and then he poops all the way around the kitchen. And
No,
that
you
was
say take a couple steps. He ran in a circle and shot poop out all around my just cleaned house as everyone was arriving for our festive birthday party. I just stood there dumbfounded. Like, I didn't even know a dog could wreak that much havoc and just cause that much destruction. So we just laughed. It's not the first time Vader has walked into my house and pooped in the middle of everything, but it is the first time I think he gets nervous when he leaves the house and he just doesn't know what to do with his bowels. Poor bud. But yeah, all you could do is laugh because we were just like, how did you do it? Just a circle all the way around.
it was the highlight of my birthday. That was the funniest thing. Just because truly everyone was arriving and it was just so funny because he wouldn't stop. So every poop was a laugh
It was just,
and then a new
we were like,
so
how
good.
did you do it, Vader? I mean, come on. And it's always a circus when everybody gets to my house anyway, because we got your two dogs, we got my two dogs, we have Vader, and then we have all the people, and everybody's just arriving at once. The little neighbor kids are like, ooh, party. They show up, knock on the door. They're like, what kind of food you got? You got any cake? You got any steak? No, kids. I don't. Well,
I'm
I did. I gave them some donuts.
I'm so sad I left the cheesecake at your house.
Yeah, we've been eating it all week.
I cannot believe I've had one piece of cheesecake.
I know.
That
I was thinking that. I
shatters.
was like, you were really fussy with mom about having your own cheesecake, and then you left it.
Yep.
Rookie
I know.
move.
I know. Before we move on, I want to also recommend a YouTube video to everybody. One of my favorite travel content creators are Kara and Nate. They had a goal of traveling to, I think it was 100 countries before 2020, and I'm probably wrong. That I think that was the main goal. And then once COVID hit, they bought a van, and so they've been driving around America. Anyway, they have great videos. Love them. They just put out like an hour and a half video on YouTube of Nate running the Leadville 100, which is 100 miles under 30 hours. It's amazing. I laughed, I cried, Ben cried watching it. It's hard for a YouTube video to keep my attention, especially for an hour and a half. Please go watch it. It's so good. And I like this new series they're doing of they've called it like 50-50. It's something hard and something they might not be able to finish. So I won't spoil how it ends, but go watch that video. They're very cool. I love them.
I love Kara and Nate. They're so wholesome. Doesn't give me any more of an attention span. Like, I'm not really a full YouTube video kind of person usually, but since you've recommended it and I do love them, I'll go watch it. I have absolutely no interest in doing any kind of long walk or run, but I appreciate so much people that do and like have the physical ability. I really
Mhm.
appreciate what that takes mentally and athletically and all that. So good for them. I'll
Do
have to go
you
watch it. We'll
remember when
drop
we
it in the
met
notes.
them?
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. Um, very, very stupid, very funny. Totally on me for being dumb. But let's get into the travel news of the week. Ange, take it away.
So you guys aren't going to believe this one. Well, maybe you will because you've been listening to us for 26 episodes. But a Carnival cruise ship hit an iceberg up in Alaska, and some folks were like, "Man, we thought it was the Titanic." And spoiler alert, it wasn't. There was no damage. They came and checked it out. It was fine, but they did, slide up against it, and it was pretty scary for a moment. My question is, what would you do if you're on a ship and there's like contact with an iceberg and it's cold? What are you doing? Are you Celine Dion, like singing at the front of the boat? Are you finding your life jacket and putting it on? First move.
I'm fine. I'm finding Ben's life jacket and putting it on because that man can't float. Let me say this. Um, I don't want to be in a shipwreck, but I do want everyone to know that I would definitely survive because I'm such a good swimmer. I wouldn't even take a
Mm,
life jacket. That's a dumb thing to say, but I'm
it
sticking
is.
to it.
I mean, yeah, and maybe in the Caribbean, but in Alaska, I think you get hypothermia pretty quick.
Well, yeah.
At any rate, it's not an ideal situation, but I bet it's a good story. And I bet everybody who is on that ship is going to never stop talking about the time their cruise ship hit an iceberg. And I would too, right?
Very that.
So let's get into our destination of the week. Very excited about this because the Jane Austen Festival is currently underway in Bath, which is what, southwest of London. And in I had to go back and back and back in my album, my photo albums on my phone, and it was 2016 when we went to the Jane Austen Festival. So it has been 8 years since the most fun adventure of all time. Um, but they do it every year. It happens in September. It's a 10-day festival. And if you are a Janeite or just somebody who likes to dress up and go to a country dance, oh my gosh, I had the most fun ever, ever, ever.
That was one of the coolest, best trips ever. So it was 6 years since you and I have been to Bath, but it was only 1 year since me and Ben were there. Literally this time last year. And I think we were too early for the festival
Mm,
last year.
yeah,
I
but it
think
happens every
unless it was
year.
going on.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think somehow you guys missed it by a minute or
Mhm.
something, or else maybe Ben was like, I just walked for 10 days. I'd rather do anything than
Country dance.
wear a cravat and do a country dance. I mean, Ben and Rick really do a lot for us, being that they're, Instagram husbands. So sometimes we just let them off the hook, and that was a good time to let them off the hook. But so the festival always starts with this Regency costumed promenade, which we did. It's over 500 people, all in Regency dress, and they just wander around Bath all together, like cosplaying Regency people from the early 1800s,
Mhm.
basically. And it has the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people dressed in Regency costumes. You don't say.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's not another one of those that it competes with so strongly.
Right. And I remember when we were there in 2016, you look down the street and people are in costumes, and it's not weird. It's not strange. But
It
when
fits
Ben and
right
I were
in.
there, yeah, when Ben and I were there, and it wasn't the festival, we still saw people in costumes. Again, not that strange.
No, because Bath looks so much like it did in Jane Austen's time. They've really preserved, I think I don't know if the whole city is, but definitely the Roman baths and that area. UNESCO World Heritage Site. So they really preserve everything down to, the
Well,
buildings and the springs and everything.
and Bridgerton is filmed there. So every time you're watching Bridgerton, it's literally places in Bath that you can visit today. It's just, they get rid of the car lines on the road, but yeah, that's how good it is. That's how good the city is.
It really is. You don't have to build a set. It's just already there. I think pretty much any period drama from back in the day set in England is they're walking across what is that? The crescent? What is that? The
Yeah,
Grand Crescent. I want to call it the Fertile
royal.
Crescent, but that's
The,
not it.
the
The Royal
royal.
Crescent. That's the one. Yeah, it's this huge building and it's all these homes that are attached, but they look like kind of one big semicircle. Oh my gosh, do you know what I just remembered? That's where that
The
whole
tour
tour
bus.
bus of, I think they were Chinese tourists, like chased us across the grass. We were running because we were costumed and kind of away from everyone, and they wanted to take pictures with us, and we were running across the grass. It's the closest I've ever had to the paparazzi feeling, I think.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
that's
kind
a
of
that's a
wild.
that's a popular area because it's people's like private homes in the Crescent, but it's also the not the Jane Austen Museum. There's a museum on the end, but it themes it out every so often. So when Ben and I were there, it was Jane Austen themed. But there's also a very fancy hotel you can stay.
Yeah,
I don't
there's definitely a
remember.
hotel there. Um, and I'm just looking at the Jane Austen Festival website. So there's 10 days of stuff and there's like 15 events every day. So you could do the big group things like the promenade where everybody just walks around and you meet people and everybody's just oohing and eyeing over everybody else's costumes. Something else I really liked about it is our costume situation. It was our first time. We didn't know what we were getting into. So total newbies, total idiots. We were wearing like random flats, a hat I got from J.C. Penney, and put a ribbon on with hot glue. We were totally goofs, and it was fine. Everybody was just so happy to be there. And I know that there were people there that sewed everything themselves, and it took a year, and they did it with no sewing machine because they wanted to do it the Regency way. I'm never doing that, but I was so impressed by just everything about it.
Well, and we weren't thinking attention to detail. So we get there, we're in costumes, and we go, what are we going to use as a purse? And we ended up tying a scarf together. Terrible. But when you get there, you can buy things to complete your outfit. So just know, as long as you have a dress, you can make
Yeah.
everything else work.
You can buy a
Um,
parasol. You can buy a reticule. There's so many things. A little pelouse? I don't know. The little jacket, the cutie little jacket.
yeah,
It's
no,
like little. Yeah. You know what I'm
like a
talking about.
crop
I had
top.
it on.
Yeah, yeah, crop top.
Sure. Yes. A Regency crop top. It's like that. But yeah, there's plenty. I mean, you can buy stuff when you get there. I would probably come with my own dress so I knew I had something that fit. But then there's different styles of dress too. So if you're going to do the promenade, you have your outfit for that. But then if you go to a country dance, you might want a different outfit for that. And then if you go to the ball, well, you definitely need something fancier for that because that's like candlelit, torches, and it's at the Roman baths, which like we didn't get to go to that because it is such a long festival and we had other places to get to. But that's amazing that you can go to a ball at a Roman ruin and be dressed up like the Jane Austen crew. What? That's
And they
magic.
teach you the dances, and you're just dancing in the hall looking for Mr. Darcy. Like it's a whole vibe. Everybody's into it. It is something else. But let's talk about the key activities that
Mm.
happen during this festival. The costume ball, of course, we've already kind of mentioned that one, I think.
The whole thing kicks off with the promenade, and that's just everybody wandering around. There's like a little marching band, everybody's dancing. It's really fun. Then there's like a country dance. So you all go and they teach you the dance. You don't have to know anything because I was like, I don't want to go to that. I have no idea how to do Regency dancing. When I tell you that was top 5 most fun dance parties I've ever been to in my life. And we were legit like dancing around in circles like Pride and Prejudice, but it was so much fun. And it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be to just kind of jump right in. I don't learn dances very fast, but it was really, really fun. They have plays and performances. So sometimes it's, some kind of Jane Austen adaptation, and then sometimes it's an interpretation, or they just have so many options. And each event is ticketed. It's individually, I'm pretty sure. So you can decide what you're going to do. You don't pay for the whole festival. You decide I'm going to do this and this and this. Because I don't think most people stay for 10 days. I think you kind of dip in and dip out. I think a lot of people are local or regional at least. But yeah, there's just an insane amount of things to do and shopping. Oh, crafts. Don't forget about the crafts. They have so many crafts. Oh, what were they doing where we were? The silhouettes, where they'll cut out your silhouette in a piece of paper. And I don't know.
Did we
they have a
do
minibus
that?
tour. I don't think we did it. I think we were there when it was happening and maybe videoing it. We were just kind of
Yeah.
overwhelmed because we were there on a campaign with, was it Visit Great Britain or Love Great Britain? So we were there working and we were trying to get all this content. Of course, as I'm looking at all our video, it's all horizontal. Completely and utterly useless to me as I'm trying to make reels now. So I definitely have to go back and we'll get to that. They have breakfast. They have Pride and Prejudice book club. They have, what else?
Costume
Carriages.
competitions.
Yes, they have costume competitions. What else? Oh, they have the festival fair, and that's where you can buy hats and fans and gloves. So there's a lot to do. If you're a Jane Austen fan at all, it's a must do in your life. Like must, must, must. And if you're not, start reading the books and watching the movies and then see if you probably are, because you maybe just don't know yet that you are.
I don't think I've watched Pride and Prejudice since I watched Succession, where Mr. Darcy's Mr. Darcy, but then in Succession
Yeah.
he's
A
a
completely
really
different
bad
guy.
character. Yeah. I need to rewatch it with that in mind.
Seriously, the first time I saw that it was him, I was like, I can't reconcile Mr. Darcy as this absolute schmuck but yeah, you get used to it after a
Right.
couple seasons.
Mr. Darcy would never. I know.
Mr. Darcy. Yeah. I saw a really great interview with him where he was talking about how he didn't think he was dishy enough and like cute enough to be Mr. Darcy. And all these women are like, are you kidding me? That was like the most romantic moment I've ever seen in a movie. Like the hand moment, Ugh. Yeah. But Pride and Prejudice, either version, well, there are many more than 2 versions, but the main versions, I'll watch either one of them any day. Oh, hello, Nori.
Oh, you got stinky breath, Nora.
Rude.
Anyway,
rude.
so
Well-
back to Pride and Prejudice.
Back to this whole thing. So, what I would say is plan in advance, prepare for rain. Our promenade, as fun as it was raining for the majority of it. And I can't remember if it's a mile or 2 miles or 3 miles that you walk around town. It can't be that much, but you get real wet. And we had to go home and like wash our hems because we didn't have a surplus of outfits. So we had to like wash our hems in the sink, hang our dresses up. But it was such an adventure. And it was so different than anything else that you do, that you can just be so immersive. I love it.
It's a fun time. I don't know if I'll ever have 10 days to do it.
No,
I wish
that's tough.
That's a lot.
It's a lot,
It's many
but it's
days.
also a good way to base yourself in the UK. You could spend some days in London, some days in Bath. You can go back and forth. It's honestly not that far on the train. So if you were staying in London, let's say with a friend, you could pop out for an event that you wanted to do. Of course, you might not want to be wearing your costume in London. That gives me flashbacks to when we were in Stockholm. We were just like standing in the middle of the mall in head to toe sparkles, and everyone's like, what is the deal with you two? And then we went to
Right.
the Taylor Swift concert and it made sense, but
Everyone was wearing jeans, and I'm like, I wish I had on jeans.
like I'm wearing glittery hot pants. But who who cares what people think about you, right? If you care about what people think about you, you waste a lot of your time and energy on that.
Other people's opinion of you is none of your business.
Say it, girl.
And I live by that.
Do you?
Please review this
You do.
podcast positively. All right, packing tips. So what you're gonna want to do is, hey, obviously get tickets in advance, especially for any of the major events, and obviously the things you want to do. Again, you don't have to do everything. You probably shouldn't do everything because you're gonna want to visit the town, do other things in jeans, and then go back and put your costumes on.
You're also going to want to go to the spa, which is basically I think that's why I've been to Bath like 5 different times, because this spa keeps calling my name. There is no spa in the world like it. Tell us about the last time you went to that spa, Ray.
It was the best day of my life. Again, this time last year, we were there after we walked 100 miles, and I'll never forget my masseuse like, are you okay? And I told her, I was like, we just did the Cotswold Way. And she was like, yes. So we spent like 6 hours at that spa. Best birthday present ever from y'all. Thanks.
I have to tell you, it's not just any spa. We're just saying spa like, oh, it's just a massage. No, it's a naturally heated, hot spring fed pool on top of a roof surrounded by steeples and spires and historic buildings and rolling hills. It's the most beautiful spa.
Unmatched.
I just love it. Very much worth spending a day there. I think I talked about it in my book, actually, because I went there to get over my own Mr. Darcy, and it worked.
Inexpensive. It's not that much. It's the best spa I've ever been to, and it's not the most expensive. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's definitely reasonable for what it is. But yeah, as far as packing, plan for all kinds of weather. Wear comfortable shoes, which can be hard to do when you're in costume, but also keep in mind people might not be able to see your feet. So sneakers under that floor-length dress, don't knock it till you've done it. And just maybe bring some Tide packs in case you have to wash your hem in the sink.
Yes.
Like we did. I mean, 6 inches deep in mud.
Hotel, book in advance. It's a huge festival, so those are gonna book up, and it's not the biggest city, so accommodations are limited. So look into staying somewhere central. Easy.
Very easy to get there from London. There are buses. There's a train that takes you right into the middle of town, and you can walk to a lot of accommodations right from there. So I think that's what we did. I think we took a train, and it wasn't that bad.
I walked there. Let me just.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to leave that bullet point out.
I did walk to Bath. I did walk 100 miles to Bath.
You indeed.
But you can take a train.
I'm not doing that.
It was great. But Ben and I took a bus from Bath to London to the airport. It was cheaper, so you got options. It would not be, but did you die without the disasters? We've got real disasters this time.
We've got some good ones. So the first disaster was 9 days before we left. I had a strange pain in my right side, and it turned out to be appendicitis, allegedly. I sat in the airport. I sat in the hospital for 3 nights with no food, and they were like, well, maybe you need surgery, maybe you don't. Oh, I don't know. Does it still hurt? I don't know. Right? Like waffling. And finally, on the 3rd day, I said, you either take it out today or you don't take it out at all, because I'm going to the Jane Austen Festival in 9 days and I need time to recover if you're going to like cut open my stomach. I was going no matter what. So I was like, it's now or never. So they took it out. I don't even know if they needed to. I don't think they did, TBH, because it kind of still hurts. And that was 8 years ago. Worth it, but I do not recommend, really highly don't recommend traveling 9 days after a surgery, especially when you have many suitcases, more than you normally travel with due to costumes, because that's not the only thing we did. It wasn't the Jane Austen Festival. We also side-tripped to Highclere Castle, the real Downton Abbey, and did a whole costume thing there. So we were like, I just don't recommend having surgery right before. Not that anyone would do that on purpose, but I didn't want to have to get my appendix out in Bath.
Yeah, because then I ended up lugging your luggage all around England after your I had surgery. You did, but
I've
not cool. That was
literally
my
never heard the end of this. She had to carry my luggage for like 2 days.
well, yes. So our other disaster, which goes a little bit more with our Highclere day, we rented costumes, and our long story short, our train was late, so we got delayed in getting ready for this huge event at Highclere. It was like a costume party there as well. And then when we got our costumes, Angie's, was it yours or was it mine? No, it was mine. Mine was
Yours
hot pink.
was gross.
Hot,
It was ugly.
hot pink. Not
Yeah.
at all a 1920s garden party. We had so little time, we did not even take a picture of how bad it was. Thankfully, Ange had bought a dress from like what, H&M just
Yeah.
in case, and it looked great. So that's what I
It
ended
was
up wearing.
perfect.
But be
So
careful
I
when
would
you're
say
renting costumes. You do not know what you're getting into.
well, we
Have a
did so
backup plan.
many. Yeah, we ordered like rented costumes to arrive, locally. We both had dresses sewn for us in the US, which yours was super cute. Mine was a mess. Like, it looked like a hospital gown, which was hilarious because I just got out of the hospital. And so I was lucky that I had a rented backup, and it just the whole thing. Like, you never know. And then I bought this other dress randomly because I saw it on the rack and I was like, that could almost work. So I'll just get it in case. And it's this, I feel like the Jane Austen Festival is one time when I would not tell you to pack less. I would definitely tell you to pack more, bring options, different shoes for different days. Think through every single thing, like what purse are you going to carry? What hat? What you're going to have a parasol, blah, blah, blah. Like there's so many things to think about, but I mean, we
Well,
had all our bases covered, but
yeah,
it was crazy at times.
that is a great travel tip. When you're going to the Jane Austen Festival, pack more dresses than you think, accessories if you can, but know that those are available to you. Pack for all kinds of weather. It may say cold the day before you fly, and then it's 80 degrees the whole time. So bring
Yeah,
some
it was
layers,
so hot when you guys did the Cotswold Way, right? It was very, very warm.
which
And it was
I'll take
cold
anytime.
when we were there. Yes. Well, and it was cold when you and I were there. So, and it was nice to be wearing like long sleeves and little cutie cute crop top jackets or whatever you want to call them. So, we have a ton of resources and, info on booking and getting tickets to the Jane Austen Festival in Bath. So, I'm going to put all those in the show notes. So, if you're interested in going, check that out. Also, if you're interested in going, next year is Jane Austen's 250th birthday. It's also the 25th anniversary of the Jane Austen Festival. So there's a chance somebody might be planning a group trip. So if you are interested in something like that and would like to possibly go frolic around the countryside in a dress with a cutie umbrella and some gloves and just take pictures to your heart's content,
With
message
us.
us. Yeah, with us, message us, and we'll make sure you get the info and first dibs on booking because people don't really do this as a group trip. So I think this is one that will sell out. We tried to do this in 2020, and you know what happened then. So we already have a pretty good list of people who are into the reschedule. So I think, knock on wood, I think 2025 is the year. Happy birthday, Jane.
I thought we were going to say happy birthday, Jesus.
No,
Oh.
no, just Jane.
All right. What are you doing this weekend?
It may surprise our listeners to hear that I'm fishing in a fishing tournament.
Good
There will be
luck.
no explanation. I don't care because I don't really like fish. Like, I will only fish if there's money on the line, and the winners get $5,000. So, also, it's for a good cause, but I could win money, and that is what it takes for me to fish. It's going to be great, probably.
Nice.
What about you? What are you up to?
We're having a tiny family housewarming with Ben's side of the family, a little bit of a birthday party. And I think that's it, really.
That's about it. So that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Next week, tune in to hear about another place that we have yet to decide.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an adventure.
We would love to hear about your travel disasters, so drop us a comment or tag the Jet Sisters in your social media posts. And if you have a destination you think we should feature next, let us know because we are running out of places. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, don't you go dying on us.
No.
It's better than I love you.
I don't know. I always love to tell everyone that we love them. Hey, we love you.
Well,
don't die on a trip. And if you do, hope you have travel insurance. We're going to work on our outros.
bye.
Bye.